And if you want to join us on the phone in, the telephone number is Preston 561,000. It's 3.5 minutes to 11.
We'll make you laugh, we'll make you smile. You know you'll have some fun on Red Road 301.
First caller tonight is Ivy. How do?
How do, Alan? We've had to ring you because we've been listening to you while we've been at Blackpool and we've come back home to Stoke-on-Trent. We've been trying to get you on our wireless and we can't. So my husband says, well, give him a ring.
Well, it's a fair step away is Stoke-on-Trent. If you had an aerial about 30 foot long...
You know, I thought of that.
That could do it.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm coming back again next week.
Oh, yeah?
So I shall be listening to you again.
Oh, good.
I just wish you were in the potteries and did a programme because I think
well,
it's great.
I should be because I had a lot of pottery training when I was little.
Did you?
Yeah.
On the potty?
On the
know.
potty, yes.
Yes, and because I come from where they make the mugs, I'm a mug, I know.
Well, I said nothing, me love. I'm too polite, as you know. Stoke-on-Trent?
That's it, yeah.
A fair step away. We've not rung you
From
back,
the
have we?
mother
Have we rung her back in Stoke-on-Trent, Rod? Do you think we made her money?
Yeah. I'm worth it, aren't I? I've come from the mother town, Burslem.
Burslem?
Do you know about the 6 towns? I bet you don't.
Burslem sounds like something you go to the doctor's with. Oh, doctor, I think I've got Burslem. Oh, God, you've not, have you? Get out the sitting room. He did say sitting room, didn't he? He sounds like something you'd have Miss Cayley Morse for.
On what?
Miss Cayley Morse.
Miss Cayley Morse.
Yeah, it's a bit of morphine and a bit of kaolin, and it's all mixed together. Yeah.
No, it's funny you should say that. Because at the hotel last week I had a bit of a tummy upset.
Well, you would,
And I
Blackpool
was
Hotel.
getting a drink of that, and the bloody stuff was off.
It was off?
Must have been 2 years old. That's no kidding, that's true.
So did that make it worse?
So if you mention Joan and Martin Wilson...
We're not allowed to.
Oh, aren't you?
No.
Oh, what a shame.
Never mind.
Oh, that is a shame.
When are you coming back?
I'm coming back next Monday.
Monday. Thank God for that.
Yeah.
It's Sunday when I'm there.
Monday till Friday.
Yes.
Then I come back again on August the 15th. And I put
You like Blackpool, you, don't you?
Oh, I do. I'd love to come and live up there.
Yeah, well, if you do, let me know. I'll move to Birmingham.
Oh!
Ta-da!
From you going to Marlene?
Marlene? What are you on about?
Give
Marlene
it 5
works
and buy it.
Oh, yeah, give it 5 and buy. If it moves, never mind, I never said that. Anyway, nice to talk to you, Ivy.
And I come back to Blackpool.
I can't wait, I really can't. Ta-da! How do, Marie?
Hello, Alan.
Hello.
I've got the offer of some jobs, and it's for...
For some what?
Jobs.
Jobs?
Jobs, yes.
Well, how many are you going to take?
Well, as many as wants them.
Oh, you're giving jobs out, are you?
I am,
It's very
yes.
kind of you. Ring the job spot. It'll be on tomorrow. Right now, it's time for the news. We're going to find out what's happening everywhere. Well, London anyway, because it is, of course, independent radio news, and nobody ever goes out of London from that place except that Andrew fella in America, and he's puddled.
The 11 o'clock news, this is Alan King. The Commons is packed for a late-night debate on MPs' pay, which is likely to end with members awarding themselves a £4,000 a year rise. The MPs have a free vote on the sensitive issue, which has pitched together such unlikely allies as Mrs Thatcher and militant Labour MP Dave Nellist. They're against the rise, which will take an MP's basic salary to £22,500 a year. But Shadow Commons leader Frank Dobson says there are plenty who could do with the money.
If there are any members of the House who don't want to take the increase in pay or feel that they can't properly spend all the allowances in providing a service for their constituents, that is their own decision. I don't believe that they should obstruct those of us who feel we could make good use of both.
Two Kuwaiti tankers now carrying the American Stars and Stripes flag are waiting outside the entrance to the Gulf of Persia, ready to make the trip to Kuwait. They'll have an escort of American warships and planes trying to prevent attacks from Iran. The Lord Chief Justice Lord Lane is defending judges against critics who say they're too soft on criminals. Speaking in London tonight, Lord Lane said media coverage describing sentences as disgraceful or wicked doesn't help anyone. Helena Kirkwood reports.
Lord Lane says most complaints about over-leniency are unfounded. He's suggesting critical newspaper headlines overlook or consciously disregard the limited deterrent effect of jail sentences and the limited number of places in the country's prisons. And he's blaming the breakdown of morals and family life, not the attitude of the courts, for the upsurge in crime. Lord Lane says those are areas where the church might be expected to have more influence.
A delegation of Merseyside Labour MPs has urged the Home Secretary to stop the extradition to Belgium of 26 Liverpool football fans facing charges arising from the Heysel Stadium tragedy. The 8 MPs told Douglas Hurd that the soccer supporters couldn't expect a fair trial in Brussels and should be tried in Britain. 39 people died in the riot during the European Cup final. One of the delegation, Eric Heffer, says the Home Secretary was given strong arguments.
We argued the case, I think, very cogently. And he certainly listened very carefully to what we had to say. But whether the outcome will be what we want, of course, that's a different matter altogether.
A court's been hearing how Sheffield solicitor Ian Wood took his French girlfriend upstairs and made love to her shortly before shooting her and her 2 children. Wood is charged with killing Danielle Lloyd, her 2-year-old daughter Stephanie, and attempting to kill her 5-year-old son Christopher. Alma Cooper reports.
In a statement to detectives, Wood told how he'd taken his pregnant girlfriend upstairs to make love to her for the last time before killing her. He described how he crept up behind Danielle while she thought he was downstairs with the children and shot her through a pillow. He then took Stephanie into the bedroom and played hide-a-boo with her on the bed before covering the 2-year-old with a duvet and firing twice. Finally, he brought Christopher upstairs, saying he had a surprise for the boy, before putting a towel over his head and putting a bullet in his brain. The trial continues. Alma Cooper, IRN, Sheffield.
Independent Radio News.
I don't want to be pedantic, but I don't think you get bullets out of a shotgun.
Ring him if you dare.
Allan Beswick, the late night show.
If you wish to join us on the phone in, the number is Preston 561,000. It's 3.5 minutes past 11.
Red Rose Radio.
I don't suppose anyone was bothered that much. How do, Sean?
Good evening.
Good evening. What's going on in the background?
Well, it's a pub, this, you see.
Yeah, a pub. Oh.
Aye, do you want a pint while you're there?
I don't drink.
Do you not? Oh, that's a shame. Listen,
It's not a shame, I'm glad.
No, fine. Just because you don't like a pint doesn't mean to say that we don't have to.
Well, I wasn't suggesting you weren't. You said it was a shame that I didn't. I'm not trying to impose my will upon you. I'm just not prepared to have your poxy will imposed upon me. Now, what do you want?
I want a pint, mate. Well,
go and get one.
What I want to know is, I heard you giving hassle to the Scousers last night, and I thought, I wonder if you know what a K-head is.
A K-head?
Aye.
Do I care?
Do you just know what a K-head is?
I'm told it's someone from West Dorton.
Oh, hey, no, you've scored a goal there, pal.
I don't like football either. Go and get your pint. In fact, go and get another 15. It might make you sound better. How do, Mark? Good night, Mark. Not waiting for you. How do, Joanne?
Hello.
What do you want?
I've got an idea for you.
I don't want any ideas. I've got enough of my own.
You know how you get people to send you Mars bars in?
Yes?
Why don't you send them to me and say that you're on a diet and get them to send you bottles of Perrier?
I don't want bottles of Perrier.
Oh, you like that?
I do like it. But I don't want a bath in it. I've got about 500 flaming Mars bars. I don't want 500 bottles of Perrier, do I? You bath in that, it tickles your willy. I might try it.
You get fat on all them.
I'll get what?
You get fat.
Well, I'm not bothered about getting fat. I quite like being fat.
Right, okay.
Gives you something to rock on. How do, Martha?
Hello, can you give me some advice, Alan, please?
I can try.
I want an injunction on a certain person, and I've been told that he has to be served with it, but he's not in the country. How do I go about getting it served without him coming to the house?
Hang on a minute. You want to serve a summons on somebody?
Yeah.
But they're not in the country?
Yeah.
There would be... What's the summons for?
I don't want him to come near the house.
Well, if he's not in the country, he's not going to, is he?
No, but when he does come...
Well, when he does, you'll be able to serve it on him, but there's not much point serving a summons or even attempting to serve a summons on someone that's out the country, because it doesn't apply anyway. Now, has the case been heard?
No, not yet. I'm waiting for my sources to
Obviously, so it is a summons, it's not an injunction. Then all I can say is I very much doubt that any court would grant an injunction to prohibit someone from coming to your home when they're in another country. There won't really be much point, so you'll have to wait till he comes to the country to serve the summons.
Okay then.
But as long as he's out of the country, you're safe enough, aren't you?
Yes, for the time being.
Well, for the time being, well, let's make the most of that while we can, Martha. How do Archie?
How do Alan?
Yep.
A young man called Peter Madeira, whose lifestyle was very
I don't want any poems. How do Robin?
Hello, Alan. I'd like to talk about God.
All right.
You say you don't believe in God. Well, I've got an argument for you. I'm not necessarily trying to convince you, but just see what you think of it. Now, everything in the universe is contingent upon something else for its existence. For example, we're contingent upon other people and food in order for us to stay alive. And
yes, I follow
at the
that.
molecular level, everything's contingent on something else. Now, take all these contingencies back. You trace it back in time. You can't just go round forever and ever in a circle or just back contingently. That is impossible. So there has to be something at the beginning which wasn't contingent, which was archaic.
What was that something?
That something is God. The idea is...
Now then, we've got a problem here, haven't we? Because you're arguing, and correct me if I'm wrong, that there must be a God because something had to start everything.
Yes, something which was self-existent.
Right. So who started God? Because, like you said, something has to start it. Because it can't exist unless something starts it. So who started God?
I've just told you that God is aseik. Aseity means that it doesn't rely on anything. It is self-existent.
But you also told me, indeed the very base of your argument was that everything requires something. Everything has to be started by something.
I said everything in the universe.
If you're asking me to believe that it is possible for something that you define as God to be non-created, then I say to you, non-creation is therefore possible, and therefore the tenet of your argument falls.
It does not, because I'm
Well,
saying...
of course it does. You're asking me to believe that everything in the universe requires a beginning, but God, who is present in this universe, does not. That's a self-contradiction.
I did not say that. I said it's contingent upon something else for its existence. I'm saying...
You actually said, if you take it all back, everything requires a beginning. Those were your words. If you like to withdraw them, feel free.
I said it's contingent, which is the basis for the beginning of it.
I'm sorry, Robin. If you're telling me that it's contingent, which is the basis for the beginning, you are also saying that it needs a beginning. Otherwise, they would not need that contingency to have the beginning, would it?
The idea of it...
So let me ask you a question, Robin. Are you arguing that everything must have a beginning?
I'm arguing that everything must be contingent upon something else.
Just answer the question. Are you arguing that everything must have a beginning? Yes or no?
Yes.
There, that wasn't difficult, was it? Now, I agree with you. Everything must have a beginning. When did God begin?
God began when he decided.
I don't believe you. Convince me.
Right.
Because, like you said, Robin, Robin, you have already swayed me with your superior argument that everything must have a beginning.
All right.
Now convince me it mustn't.
All right.
So which is right?
Something is a thing.
Robin, we've got this problem. I don't want to know the meaning of words, Robin. What I want is the essence of your point. The essence of your point is that everything must have a beginning. Yes. God doesn't have a beginning.
No.
I cannot see how that is not a contradiction. It is very patently a contradiction. Everything must have a...
Not when I've used the term aseik as one of my premises.
Well, all right, allow me to say to you then that the bloody world was aseik. There you are, that's knackered your argument. I have said aseik to you, now you bollocks. Goodbye. How do... Ian.
All right, Alan?
Yes.
Right, I'd like to talk to you about cannabis and why it should be made legal.
Why should it?
Well, it's not addictive, it doesn't lead
How do you know?
Because it's been proved by science.
It hasn't been proven. It's not been proven. I'm sorry, it has not. Quote the reference.
Well, I haven't got it on me at the moment.
Right, well, go and get it and ring me back. How do line 6, who's so far anonymous? How do Bill?
Alan?
Yes?
Wish you were a statue and I was a pigeon.
I'm sure you do, and I'd crap on you too.
For your new e-registered Austin Rover, look local and deal direct with Hay Houses. At the busiest time of the motoring year, you'll find we still have time to prove to every customer that Hay Houses really is the company that cares. Hay Houses, motoring on the Fylde, Alexandria Drive, St Anne's. Phone 713838.
Presenting, in the worst possible taste, a present for your most loathed companion. Watch them squirm with agony and cringe with anguish. Beswick's Big Blue Cassette. Cheques or postal orders for £3.99, payable to Red Rose Productions, and available now from Red Rose Radio Reception. Beswick's Big Blue Cassette. Listen at your own peril.
The Great Red Rose Radio Charity Nutty Night Out is at the Ginn, that's Ginn Square, Blackpool, on Thursday, July the 23rd. Come along and challenge our presenters on the pool table, throw darts at Allan Beswick's photo, and have a go at the crazy games and competitions. We start at 8, and the evening is one of our 7-Up party nights. There are plenty of 7-Up and Thwaites goodies to be won as well, and the whole night is in aid of the Winged Fellowship Trust, the charity which provides holidays for handicapped people in Lancashire. So don't forget the Red Rose Nutty Night Out at the Ginn in Blackpool on Thursday, July the 23rd.
How do, Bob?
Alan,
What do you want?
earlier you mentioned a monkey gland. What exactly is it, please?
It's one of them things that President Reagan gets injected with. It's
Oh,
all
I
very
see.
good. It's kept him looking young, but when he's angry, his bum changes colour.
Okay, give my love to Sally Moon.
Well, if you're going to give love to Sally Moon, pal, you do it for yourself. I don't want to get bitten. How do, Peter?
Good evening, Alan.
Is it?
I'm ringing from Stoke-on-Trent.
Oh, my God.
I can pick you up fine. Ian.
Can you? Well, go and flit and moved in with Ivy.
Tell Ivy we can pick her up fine. In
Okay.
Kidsgrove, Stoke-on-Trent, that is.
Kids Grove?
Yeah.
Smart. Well, have you got no tales to listen to round there?
It's fantastic, I tell you. It's really good.
Oh, all right then.
Okay.
Well, it's nice to know we're pleasing somebody, even if they have got a speech impediment. Who's on two, pal? Sitting there like a divvy. How do, Anne?
Oh, hello, Alan.
Hello, Anne.
I want a bit of advice, please.
Go on.
I went to Malta in June this year, and I left my purse in the hotel bedroom when I was coming out, but didn't realise until I got home and went,
What's the problem?
well, I've been in touch with the travel firm,
And?
and they said they would get in touch with the firm, with the hotel.
Yeah, what's
now.
happened? What's the bottom line? I don't really want to know the whole history of it. Just tell me what's the situation now.
Well, they phoned me today and said they don't think that I can put a claim. They haven't got the purse. They don't think I can put a claim in because it wasn't reported. But how could I report it if I didn't know till I got home?
Well, who have you reported it to since?
The travel agent and the travel firm that we went with.
If you decided to claim, and you should claim, and then decided to sue, you would have to convince the court, I suppose, that you reasonably could not be expected to have checked whether you had your purse or not. Now, on a flight back from Malta, I'm sure there must have been one occasion when you might have looked where your purse was. For example, where were the plane tickets?
Well, my husband had all those, didn't I mean?
Well, it's very strange. I'm sure you might have some difficulty. But put a claim in anyway. Never mind that they say you can't claim. Claim. And when it says, was it reported to the police locally, the answer is no, and the reasons why, that you didn't know it was lost until you got back to Britain. But then you're going to have to try and convince them that you left it in the hotel room. You might have lost it in the plane. You might have lost it in all sorts of places. Mightn't you?
Yeah.
You could have picked it up and it's fallen out of your bag. Now, the issue is whether you've lost it or not. But if you've lost it in Britain, then I'm not sure that you're covered by your travel insurance. So you've got all kinds of problems, but nonetheless, you should put your claim in.
Yeah.
They won't pay it if you don't, that's for sure. All right?
Okay,
Good luck.
thank you.
How do, Dave?
Hi, Tom.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd like to discuss with you the laws on cannabis.
God.
Oh, God, he said.
Well, I'm bored with it. There's nothing new to be said.
Yes, it is, yeah.
Oh, good, let's hear it.
Right. Firstly, right, do we agree that it's not addictive to smoking?
I neither agree nor disagree. I don't think there's enough evidence. Go on.
Right.
You can, in fact, there is evidence to show that you can become emotionally dependent.
Oh, well, that's more of a habit rather than an addiction, like, isn't it?
Well, I would say that people who smoke are emotionally dependent, but not addicted.
Right.
Go on.
Also, it's been proved totally harmless, right?
I don't know.
Well,
Go on.
according to what I've read, it has anyhow.
Well, okay, but again, there is no such thing as a harmless poison, and it is a poison. It does things to your brain that are not necessary. Therefore, it is a poison.
Yeah, but I don't think anyone should have the right to tell me what to do and what not to do where it involves no one else apart from me.
But it can involve somebody else. It can involve the health service if you suffer some illness, just like smoking. If you're going to smoke cannabis, then you're smoking, and that can give you all kinds of bronchial infections that are going to cost me money. And why should I pay? Because you're stupid enough to stick burning leaves in your mouth.
Well, but if the government was to legalise it, right, and the government was to licence the sale, the country would benefit from the taxes imposed by the government.
But the same applies to bank robbery. If we suddenly legalised bank robbery,
yeah, but
then everybody could go in there with a shot.
Involving a third party.
Well, it's not necessarily involving a
Someone's
third
losing
party.
out, like, isn't it? If it's not the person, it's going to be the insurance company.
Yes, but
through me smoking cannabis, no one's losing out.
providing you don't put a draw on the exchequer via either the National Health Service or you drive a motor vehicle and cause incident.
Yeah, well, that risk is running already, isn't it?
But that doesn't mean to say we have to. That doesn't mean to say we have to add to the risk and encourage the risk.
No, but you're not encouraging it at all, are you?
You are encouraging it by delegalising or by decriminalising it.
Well, not necessarily.
Of course you are. You want it to be decriminalised. I feel sure that if it were decriminalised, other people would take up the habit.
Yeah, well,
in that case, you're encouraging it, aren't you?
Well, that's their own lookout, like
Well, we're not interested in whether you're consider that to be a good thing or a bad thing. A few seconds ago you were saying that it wouldn't encourage people. Now you're saying it doesn't matter that it would. Which of those 2 points do you want to stand?
I stand corrected on that.
Good. Well, now you've been corrected. Now you're going to be Beswick. Goodbye.
You have been Beswicked.
You've got to think quicker than that, my little Scouse plebby friend.
You know they're rolling it all over the nation. God enhance your music appreciation. Give you the feeling of relaxation. Ooh, yeah. And it don't lead to no intoxication. You know what I'm talking about.
Lookers Levers for everything you'll ever need in Vauxhall Opal. We're one of the oldest established dealers in the area, yet we're bang up to date when it comes to giving you what you want on 4 wheels. Lookers J&S Lever of Blackburn. Call 51191.
Lookers Levers, where you're
Looking for a great day out for the kids, but want to enjoy yourself as well? Come along to Morecambe Leisure Park. Youngsters can spend a full day for just £1.50, and you can relax in the picnic areas, the modern cafe, or even have a drink at the bar. Morecambe Leisure Park is a great place for the kids to visit and a great day out for you. Phone Morecambe 424444 now for details.
How do, Andrew?
Hello, Alan.
Hello?
Hello, I'd like to talk about child abuse, please, and the people that do it.
Go on.
Right. If a child's been abused by the father, then I think the mother should be allowed to go to a doctor and ask for the man who has done it or anything like that to be castrated or something just as bad. Because I don't think the punishment is enough for sexual abusers.
Well, let us examine the consequences of that. Not to the man, but to the victim.
Yeah.
What consequences do you think there will be to the victim?
Yeah, but...
Answer the question. Don't say yeah, but. Tell me.
The victim?
Remember this victim, usually a girl. This victim has her own father or some other close relative sexually abusing her.
Yeah.
How do you think she feels?
Yeah, well, I think she'd be quite happy about that, so I
Well,
can
let
do
me
it
tell
again.
you. Let me tell you, you are very, very wrong. And rather than have me drivel on about it, are you free tomorrow at 4 o'clock? Are you busy?
No, not really.
Good. Tomorrow at 4 o'clock, tune your radio to Radio 4.
Yes.
And you will hear a programme called File on 4 that was actually on the radio this evening at 7:20.
Yeah.
And it's all about child sexual abuse.
Yes.
And one of the most startling things that programme reveals is the guilt felt by the children who are abused. Not just the guilt of what has happened to them, but the guilt of the consequences of reporting it.
Yes.
And that guilt of consequence is one of the hardest things to overcome. That is why children do not come forward. That is why they don't say what's going on. The fear of the consequence. Now, if the children don't report it to their mother, to their doctor, to their teacher, if the children don't report it, it is rare for it to be discovered. So if you put something in the way that is going to increase that guilt, then you're going to reduce the number of children that come forward. And when your objective is to reduce the crimes, I think you're not going to succeed by reducing the incentive to report the crime.
Yeah, but in a court and things like that, the children can't stand up to them. Because once they see the father's faces or the mother's in some cases, they just break down and cry and the case is just dismissed.
And that has got to do a lot with the guilt they feel, with the embarrassment they feel. Some of them feel soiled, some of them feel dirty, some of them just feel guilty as if it's their fault. Now, draconian measures will not go any way to reduce that guilt.
Yeah.
And that's what's necessary. We have to find some way of getting the children to come forward. Far better, far more productive is the type of involvement where social workers become involved with the family and help find out why it happens.
Yeah.
It isn't just some guy getting his rocks off. It's more than that. And if we can find out why it happens, we may actually be able to, A, stop it happening in that family, and B, which is perhaps more important, find out what causes it to happen in other families so that we can prevent it.
Yes, but say the father gets away with it.
What do you mean by gets away with it?
Doesn't have anything done to him or anything.
Well, he won't do if no one reports it.
Yeah, but say the daughter does, the son, whatever.
Well, yes, but you're making an assumption there. You're assuming that they will. That is already the biggest obstacle. Talk to Esther Ranson about it, about Childline. Why do you think Childline is getting so many calls? Because it's anonymous. Because they don't have to follow it through.
Yeah, I suppose so.
There's no doubt about it.
Right, thanks a lot, Alan.
Pleasure. Don't forget to listen to that programme tomorrow at 4. Sorry about that, Ian Lonsdale. I'll do Carline.
Hello, Alan.
Hello.
Alan, I was listening to you last night and you said you'd bought an Hoover with a light on.
I have.
Yeah, well, it reminded me of the man that lives next door to me. He plays in a band during the day and he cleans up at night. Orchestral man Hoovers in the dark.
Go on, you Caroline, that is brilliant.
It was wrong. He said you won't last for long. It's Carline.
Thank you very much. That is absolutely super.
There goes another one in the 300 car challenge at Mr. Smith the Nissan Man, and another £20 to the National Children's Home.
Deal direct with Direct Windows.
Direct Windows, the best way to buy UPVC windows and doors in Lancashire. We install the superb Bowater Halo system, and all work is guaranteed and underwritten at Lloyd's of London. Buy direct, avoid the middleman, and make hard cash savings. Visit the new factory showroom 7 days a week at 64 Red Scar Estate, Longridge Road, or phone Paul Kelly on Preston 703 008.
Deal direct with Direct Windows. Direct Windows.
The Philips
Phillips Moving Sound and Red Rose Radio Roadshow will be out and about in Lancashire starting this Saturday for 7 days. During the week, we'll be visiting Fleetwood, Blackpool, Morecambe and Southport in the exciting Phillips Moving Sound Cruiser with live broadcasts from all your favourite presenters. Stay tuned for more details of the Phillips and Red Rose Radio Roadshow.
And one place where we'll be with the Red Rose Radio Phillips Road Show is this Sunday at the Pleasure Beach in Blackpool. And it's me doing It's Your Turn, 11 till 1. Of course, the roadshow is there 10 till 5. The Red Rose Cripples will be there dancing, doing their bit. Wonderful they are too. And I shall be there doing It's Your Turn, 11 till 1. Come along and who knows what you might win. How do... Oops, wrong one, sorry. How do Heath?
Hello, Alan.
Yep.
Hello. Right, I was driving along the bypass tonight in my car. Yeah?
I've no idea.
Well, I was. And it's just had the road resurfaced with the chippings. And I can't come past me. Doing about
chickens?
Chippings.
Oh, chippings. I thought you said chicken. Right, go on.
And he come past on the opposite side, and he was definitely speeding. And a load of stones flew up as he passed me and chipped my screen. You know, what can I do about it? Is there anything I can do?
Get a new screen. Do you know who he was?
Well, no, but I mean...
Did you have his registration number?
No.
Well, it's hardly anybody else's fault that he was speeding. Had he been going at a proper speed, then the chippings wouldn't have flown up. Were there warning signs up?
Yeah.
So it's not the local authority's fault, is it? It's not the road worker's fault. It's the guy in the other car. So I would say that you've got very little chance of doing anything. Have you got one of those insurance policies that gives you free windscreen cover?
No, I haven't.
Well, why don't you get it?
I'm going to have to, aren't I?
Yeah, I think you are, yeah, because when I got my windscreen chipped, I phoned up the people and said my windscreen's damaged, and they said, well, we can't do anything unless it's broken. I said, it is. They said, we'll be there in an hour, and then I had to go and find a brick to break it with.
Oh. All right, then, thanks.
Well, it's better than paying, isn't it? Do I?
Okay,
If my insurer is listening, my apologies. I've just made that up honest. I don't really want to go to jail and you're not having your money back. How do Joe?
Hello, Alan.
Hello, Joe. What do you know?
I was just wondering, Alan, can you tell me anything about a book by Nostradamus?
A book or a boot?
A book.
Nah.
Some guy told me that he predicted, or was supposed to have predicted the dates, starting dates and finishing dates of the two world wars, amongst other things.
Oh, well, there you go. You know more about it than me. I have heard of the book, but I can't tell you anything about it because I've not read it.
Oh, okay, mate. That's
All right.
Yeah,
Have you considered going to a library? It seems a good idea to me. Adam Martin.
How do Alan? I'd like to talk about arcade addiction amongst young children.
Go on.
Well,
I've got an awful line, Martin. If you stay on your line where you are, Rod will get your number and we'll ring you back. That's an appalling line. Okay? So stay where you are. Rod will get your number in a moment and we'll ring you back. How do Jenny?
Hello, can I have some advice, please?
We shall see.
Well, our local DHSS offices have been on strike for 7 weeks now. It's now in its 8th week.
Yeah, I think they've been on dispute rather than strike, haven't they?
Well, dispute, strike, whatever.
Go on anyway.
Well, we're now owed over £250 in benefits, which we haven't received. Now, we're moving house at the weekend, and we've asked for the gas supply to be connected in our new house, and they've refused point blank to do it until we've paid the money that we owe from this house. Now, I phoned up, I've asked for, if we could have a meter or a prepayment or anything, just so that we could have the gas supply connected in our new house. And they've refused outright to help us in any shape or form. I just wondered if there's any advice you can give me. There's no heat, there's no water, there's no cooking facilities.
Right, what I suggest you do is go to your nearest Citizens Advice Bureau. And they said?
They tried and they didn't get anywhere for us either. They just said they want the money paid in full before they'll connect the supply.
Did the Citizens Advice Bureau tell you what to do next?
Well, we then went to... We have an emergency payment place in the town. My husband went there. They said that, unfortunately, they couldn't help us to pay the heating bill. They could just give us so much money, to buy food. We actually have been living on about £20 a week to buy food for the last 8 weeks or so.
Yeah.
We just don't know what to do.
What I suggest you do is get in touch with the Gas Consumer Council and put your problem to them and see if they are in a position to intervene on your behalf.
And where will I get hold of them at?
You should be able to get their number from the telephone book, but if not, the gas board are duty-bound to give it to you.
I see.
So you'll get it off them ultimately. Okay?
Thank you very much.
And if the gas board are listening, what a bunch of rats you appear to be.
Yes, they
Thanks
are,
for your
aren't
call.
they?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye-bye now. That's what you get when you privatise, you see. So all the care goes out the world. Come on, gas board, let's see you bottle it. Let's see you actually get and do something. Or are you really going to say mean, selfish and parsimonious rip-off merchants for the rest of your days? There's a woman, she ain't got heat, she ain't got light, it ain't her fault, and what do you care? You care nothing. It's 11:31.
Win £50, £20, £15 each week at the Newmarket and M2 Market, Waterloo Road, Blackpool.
It's the time that you take, it's a coke, it's a break, it's a pause in the beat, a cool from the heat. Just what I need. It's a hit, Coca-Cola is it. It's put them on hold, that coke is ice cold. It's let the train wait, don't care if I'm late. It's just how you feel, it's a break that's for real. It's a kick, it's a hit, it's a coke. It's a kick, it's a hit, it's a coke, Coca-Cola is it.
Why do people from all over Lancashire travel to Unit Design for bedroom furniture? Quite simple. Unit Design's choice has to be seen to be believed. There's more finishes, more colours and more trims than ever before. And everything, apart from the furniture's free, including free estimates, design service and fitting. That's why people from all over the Northwest come to us time and time again, and tell their friends. The prices are special too. Phone Unit Design on Blackpool 48983 or call in at Unit 4A, the Sycamore Trading Estate, Squiresgate Lane, Blackpool.
When all these high-tech disco pubs start gearing you down, give yourself a break in traditional old-world atmosphere of Ye Old Brown Cow in Oswald Tweasel. There's all your favourite Tetley ales there knows, tasty bar meals with three-course lunches Monday to Saturday at only £3.75. Sunday lunches at £5.50 in a children's menu. You can even dine a la carte on Saturday night and get free cabaret. Go on, you miserable beggar. Treat family at Ye Old Brown Cow, Aslington Old Road, Oswald Tweasel. It's a grand place.
Whether you're considering a Citroen, Lada or Ford for E-Day on August the 1st, give the rest the big E for John Wilding. Right now, John Wilding is getting all excited by offering truly exceptional deals on all three of these makes, along with extremely low finance on selected models. You're always guaranteed John Wilding's excellent after-sales service too, and exceedingly generous part exchange allowances. So see how easy John Wilding makes buying E-Reg cars with Citroen and Lada at Banbury Garage, Westgate Morecambe, and Ford on the A6 Garstand.
Hang on. Oh, aye, we've got to go back to him because he's not been so well. How do, Martin? Have we got your number now?
Yeah.
We got it right.
Yeah.
What can we do for you?
Well, talking about arcade addiction among small
Yes.
children. Well, I don't think that it's right that in the main tourist resorts like Blackpool and places like that and Southport, they've got arcades open for people just to whatever age to just walk in and start gambling early. Whereas in like towns like Preston, you have to be over 18 to get into arcades, which I think is a much better idea.
Are we to actually do away with everybody's pleasures? And I must admit that playing arcade machines is not one of my pleasures, but are we to do away with everybody's pleasures simply because there are some people that can't cope with it?
How can you call it a pleasure? If playing video games, yeah, then I think that's okay, but it's just like, it's going to lead to casinos and things, isn't it?
Well, no, it isn't, in actual fact.
do.
Well, it could, yes, but what we have to consider is whether we ought to get rid of what is, on the face of it, a harmless, fun thing to do. I mean, what else can you do in Blackpool if it rains?
Yeah, it is one at first.
What percentage of people that get involved and play on one-arm bandits, as I did when I was little, what percentage of them do you think become one-arm bandit addicts?
Well, I know a lot of people.
Well, what percentage, I asked you? Not how many do you know?
The people I know who go, or who, just...
Well, how many addicts are there? Have a guess at a figure nationwide.
Yeah, I wouldn't have a clue, I couldn't even guess.
You wouldn't have a clue? Just not even a stab at it? 100,000?
I could have a
Do you reckon there's a million?
I don't know, but I could have a guess in our town.
Well, OK, your town. What's the population of your town? What's your town?
Southport, about 80,000.
80,000, OK, we've got 80,000. We'll settle for that. How many do you reckon are addicts?
I could say there's about 400 of them about.
400?
Yep.
So that's less than 160th, which is about 2/3%.
Yeah, well, we're talking... Yeah.
Now, do you think there are many people in Southport that have never, ever played a one-armed bandit?
Oh, well, that's different, isn't it?
Would you like to answer the question? Do you think there's anybody?
Well,
there can't be many.
Except
Except for the babies that haven't had the chance yet.
Yes, that's
so
right.
let's say 5% of the population's babies. So let's take 5% off that.
Let's take 5% off.
OK, so we'll take 5% off and we're left with...
A nice number.
A reasonable number, yeah, about 80,000... about 10% off would take 8,000 off, so it would be 75. 75's not far off, actually. About 75,000's about right.
Nice, yes, nice.
So 75,000 people have played on bandit machines. 400 of them have become addicts.
No, come off it. You're going over the extremes here.
No, it's you that's going on the extremes. You want to ban 75,000 people from using machines because of 400 jerks.
No,
that's not enough. I'm sorry. Goodbye. How do Peter?
Hello, Alan.
Yes.
I'd like to talk about role-playing games, please. I disagree with these people who say that should be banned because it leads to devil worship. I don't think it does.
Tell us what your definition of a role-playing game is.
It's a game where you take the role of a certain character, and there's one person who acts as he controls the world you're in, and you play this character in this world.
And?
Sorry?
And?
Well, you do actions as you would in this world.
It's called acting.
Yeah.
People have been acting for centuries.
Yeah, no. But that's why I don't think it's... people say that it leads to devil worship and stuff like that. I think that's a load of rubbish.
So do I.
Yeah.
What evidence do they proffer?
I don't know.
Well, let's find someone that does. Ring us if you think role-playing games... Actually, a friend of mine is thinking of starting a role-playing dungeon in Bristol, for heaven's sake. However, if you can think of some reason why role-playing games should lead you on to devil worship, I'll be more than happy to hear them. I suppose Lord Olivier worships the devil. How do, Dennis?
How do? I'd like to talk about parking. Where I am, I park in a cul-de-sac, and there's one or two people around about that have gates. And there's a chap right opposite me that has a gate, has only put it up recently. And the last week or two he tells me that I haven't got no right to park outside my back door, my back gate, which is right opposite his, I park my car there.
Do you obstruct his entrance?
Yeah, but the thing is...
Well, you've no right to.
He's only just put this...
I don't care, it's still an entrance.
Yeah, but I also...
If they suddenly built a motorway down your street, would you say, I've always parked here, so I'm still going to?
Oh, no, but I...
Right, well, he's only just put the gate there. You've got no right to block his gate.
No, but I also have a gateway.
And does he block yours?
Yeah, but I can't...
Does he block your gate?
Pardon?
Oh, God. Does he block your gate?
No.
Well, he damn well should do. That'd shut you up, wouldn't it? How do Simon?
Hello there, Alan. I'd like to talk about the change in the...
Ring me back when you know what you want to talk about. I haven't got all day waiting for you. How do Jenny?
Yeah, hello. I want to...
Too young. Go to bed. How do Derek?
Hello, Alan. I just want to know your opinion on this new proposed Channel Tunnel, so-called tunnel.
What's your opinion on it?
Sorry?
What's your opinion?
I'm not very pleased. I think we should remain in Ireland. I think once you start opening up the tunnel, it's exposed to terrorism and what have you. And we
How is it going to expose us to terrorism?
Well, what's to stop a terrorist group to bring a truck through, say, a load of explosives, and sort of hold, if you like, the island to ransom? I know it sounds ridiculous, but...
Tell me what you mean, holding the island to ransom.
Well, if they sort of have, say, two trucks, one in front, like one behind, with a load of tourists and whatever, and threaten to blow up the whole bloody thing.
So?
So it's, we should remain in Ireland, basically, though, I think.
Well, I want to know your reasons. If you've just realised the weakness of your argument, and you're just saying, well, forget the argument, we'll just say I want to remain in Ireland, then fine.
Yeah, What I'm asking you is, what is your opinion? Do you think that there should be a tunnel, or you're for or against, or?
Well, it doesn't make any difference to me, to be perfectly honest. If we're going to have communication with other nations, then we need the easiest form of communication there is. And that means a tunnel, I would suggest.
Yeah, but don't you think that for a country like Britain, for all these hundreds of years with strong sea links and what have you, that we've survived so far without a tunnel, so why build one now?
Well, yes, of course we've survived so far without a tunnel, but we did awfully well without the telephone for quite a while. We did reasonably well without electricity for a while. Are we to abandon that simply because we survived without it? The world is a changing place. We have to keep up with progress.
Yeah, but we are an island, aren't we? I mean, a telephone...
Well, we'll still actually be an island.
Yeah, we're not going to be independent and such, do you not think?
Well, are we independent now when the European Economic Community can tell us what to put on tax and what to do with this, that and the other?
Yeah, that's sidetracking from the subject.
No, it isn't. You're saying we're independent. We're not independent. We have not the right to independently run our country. We've actually sold off some of that right to a communal responsibility called the EEC.
Which was another mistake, by the way. But
Well, OK, so you want us to be not only a physical island, but a spiritual island.
I should think so, yeah.
Well, who would we sell our products to?
Well, I mean, I don't mean in that respect. Like, obviously.
Oh, you're happy to take other people's money. You're happy to have their money sent in.
Well,
what if they say stuff you? We're not sending you money. You're too insular.
Yeah, we look at, I don't know if you saw the television tonight on about tourism. They reckon that tourism now earns more money than the oil industry, and also...
So perhaps it'd be a good idea to encourage tourists by making conveyance to our island more easy.
Well, how many people would actually physically drive here from America?
Not many from America, but they're not thinking yet of doing a tunnel to America.
No, but I mean...
But a lot of people who come to the continent don't come to Britain because it involves yet another flight or boat journey.
Yeah.
So if they could do the European tour, then we could be included on it if they merely had to hire a car in one country and drive wherever they felt like.
Yeah, still, my own personal view is I think that we should remain...
Yes, you've said that. I'm asking you to substantiate it. Every time you put an argument up and I push it over, you fall back on your straightforward argument. Well, I think we should stay an island. Well, if that's all you've got, why don't you join the National Front or something?
I'm not a skinhead.
You're not a skinhead. Well, you can soon shave your head. Why not? You've shaved your brain. Hello, Mark.
Hello? Hello? I want to talk about Greek mythology.
Any particular aspect of Greek mythology or all of it?
Just one question. Who was half man, half beast?
Depends on which beast.
Who was it?
It depends on which beast. There were a number of different half men, half beasts. So decide which one you want and ring me back. I'll do Anne. No, it's not. It's Mick.
All right, Alan.
Yes.
I'd like to talk about a speeding ticket I got last night. Yeah? Right. I just dropped my girlfriend off in Lytham last night, and I'm on my way back to Preston. Going past the...